for the topics. So I got Noodlebib open. I'm going back to argumentation in Google Classroom, and I'm hitting number 4 for the common websites. All right. All right. For the library, I have a link that goes to the library, and there's also library database passwords. This link to a Google Doc will show you passwords that you would need for things like opposing viewpoints, EBSCOhost, and whatnot. So most of them are funky combination of letters and numbers and the almighty term LUPSWAG. I have no idea what that stands for. But that'll help you get into opposing viewpoints, Student Research Center. My guess is opposing viewpoints and SIRS would probably be the two most common ones that you would use. But certainly other stuff that you might be using for, whether it be this class or other ones, you'd have access to that as well. But if you have any issues with passwords, you just simply want to come back to that, and that'll let you log in. If you go to the library link, the ones that we're going to take a look at here real quick are opposing viewpoints, which is this little yin-yang sign, and then we're also going to take a look at SIRS. So I'm going to opposing viewpoints. Don't think it's going to make me type in a password here, but at home it would force you to. The nice thing with opposing viewpoints, if you haven't used it before, it provides opposing viewpoints. We are going to be looking up both arguments for affirmative and negative, so it's nice to have opposing viewpoints. They'll do some different things where things that are kind of popular in the news, they'll put at the top. They also break them down into different categories like law and politics, health and medicine, things of that nature. If I think under more, no, not there. There's a place where they had a whole list of them. Oh, if I browse issues, it pretty much gives me a more extensive list of things that I can start to look up. Doesn't mean necessarily all of our things would be on there that we might end up taking a look at, but it gives you kind of some ideas of topics and whatnot. So like media coverage, media bias, if we were taking a look at fake news and things of that nature. Police brutality, one of the arguments that we were looking at was body cameras, so that might be something that we would take a look at. I'm just going to click on police brutality to take a look at that passage. I don't have much hair, but I have more than he does. Once you click on a topic, you'll see on this page, you see featured viewpoints, different kind of images, reference, biographies, magazines, all of that kind of stuff. Academic journals are a good place to look. Primary resources are certainly a good place to look, but it gives you the ability to kind of just go through a couple different things. I'm just going to click on random article. I'm going to go to a viewpoint. Yesterday was showing you the archive this button. Archive this is not going to work for any of the databases. So you would have to do the citation in a little bit more of a formal way. If I scroll down to the bottom, notice I do have a source citation at the bottom for the article. The nice thing with Noodlebib is, as opposed to having to punch in everything individually, I can simply take my source citation and I can do a copy and paste. What I do have to be aware of is what kind of article am I taking a look at. This is from Opposing Viewpoints in Context, which means it's going to be a journal. So when I go back to Noodle Tools, I can create a new source, a new citation. I'm going from a database. I have a journal. It's going to ask me for a whole bunch of information to put in, but I have the option of doing a quick cite here underneath where the article is. Good to go? You can just leave them there.
No idea.
Pardon?
This could not work. I tried like 3 different computers and they didn't work.
All right, follow along with us and then we'll get you hooked up on Monday. If I go to copy and paste citation, all I have to do in this manually edit citation is paste in the citation down at the bottom of the article. And then I would hit save. Of course, I have to add an annotation, which we talked about. You put in 2 sentences. First one knowing what is the assignment. Second one just lets us know what the main idea is that I took from the source. I save and close it. Now in Noodlebib, that source should already be loaded up. So the whole process of having to punch in an individual author, individual title, stuff like that, you don't have to worry about. So opposing viewpoints is nice because you're going to get differing viewpoints on issues. Also, the citation they already have set up for you. You just have to copy and paste it in. Any questions with that one? Same thing pretty much is going to work when it comes to SIRS. Oops, library. For SIRS, it would be this ProQuest where it says SIRS Knowledge Resource. Another database tends to have a lot of different opposing viewpoints to it, magazine articles, basically the same thing where you can copy and paste the citations in. Let's see, this one's asking for subscriber. Yay, there I am. Notice they do the same thing, trending pro-con issues, and then you can do the same thing where you view all issues. I'm just going to take a look at driverless vehicles. Would anyone get in a car without a driver? Nope. They do a similar thing down at the bottom. MLA 8, notice all you have to do is hit a copy, and then you can copy and paste in a quick citation into Noodlebit for that one as well. All right, so those are pretty nice, straightforward. If it is an article that you are finding through through opposing viewpoints or through SIRS Resource Center, you don't have to worry about anything so far as reliability. It's good to go. Academic journals, magazines, all that kind of stuff. All right. All right, I want to take a quick look here at 2 more databases for us. Go to idebate.org, the International Debate Education Association. These are the people who run all the formal international debate competitions. They're based out of the UK, so you'll see some things where it kind of has more of a parliamentary procedure thing to it. The nice thing is they also provide opposing viewpoints and whatnot. And they have a real fun word debatabase, which I just like to say over and over and over again. Debatabase. International debate. So common website's the one underneath the library. And then all next period, you're going to go debatabase. You good? Yeah. Okay. If I go to the debatabase, again, they're going to break down a whole bunch of topics by theme. So, you know, culture, free speech, health, international, education, whatever. All their resolutions, they tend to set up as a parliamentary procedure. So when it goes this house, meaning this parliamentary house believes university education should be free. So this is a topic I want to take a look at. So I can go into the whole discuss thing. They set up points for as well as points against. So again, you're getting information for and against the ideas. You cannot cite this because it's just like Wikipedia where it's giving you an overall viewpoint. But I could go to points for. Individuals have a right to experience of higher education. It'll then go into, it'll elaborate on those ideas. Notice, what does it provide down at the bottom? I have little footnotes. So I can click on the footnote. Some of them have a web address right there that I can go with. Others, it might be more of a text, but I can usually find where that website would be. Since they're giving me a URL address for this one, I could copy and paste it in. Hopefully I should be able to get it as long as the website's still up. And it's of course forbidden, so that one won't work. But any of the footnotes that show up, those would certainly be sources that you could take a look at. Let's try this one. Pay attention to years and things like that. 2005, might feel that that might be a little bit old, but it still gives me some ideas. So now, once I get to this source, I certainly would be able to cite it. Notice I had the little padlock up there where it was saying secure, so archive this probably won't work for this particular source, but it's giving me, again, a gateway to different ideas. So the database gives you general ideas for and against. And it also gives you some sources then that you can start to use. So you can view Debatabase kind of like being a Wikipedia. The same thing would hold true for procon.org, which is also under common websites down at the bottom. Same idea, it gives you arguments for and against. You would not be able to utilize this as a source directly, but I could take a look at the issues that are being covered. Just go to popular ones, gun control. And it'll do a similar thing, pro 1, con 1, usually a pro 2, con 2. Same thing, you'll start to see there's a lot of information coming in, and there's little footnotes that are hyperlinks. If I click on one of the footnotes, it'll then give me a full list of all the footnotes that were used for this article, or at least for this idea. Those are resources that you could certainly go back and find. And if you were to copy and paste the article in, even though it might not give you a URL address, if we put in Kelly Kennedy and gunshot wounds drive up government healthcare costs, I'd probably be able to find that article without too much difficulty. So just like Wikipedia, you'd be looking to find a gateway of sources, the procon.org, the iDebate, those would help you find a whole bunch of valid primary sources that you would be able to use. Again, you certainly can use Google and whatnot, but you don't have to worry about running into issues. Is this website going to be reliable, valid, and all that kind of stuff? There is one other website that I've had under common websites. It's New York Times Room for Debate. They've started to back away from updating this as frequently. Like the last one they did was over a year ago on 2017. But it was a good place where they would take issues and have columnists debate them. I would think, if I type in police, I think there'd be something with like body cameras coming up for that one. You might find a couple articles, I guess, with some things. What they normally do is they'll have about 4 or 5 people argue a point, which would give you 4 or 5 specific sources. But unfortunately, they're not uploading them nearly as often as they were before. So I don't know how much we're really going to find useful with New York Times. But again, New York Times, you know, it's going to be a valid source. You shouldn't, or should be at least a valid source. Shouldn't have too many issues with that. Any questions about those common websites? For the folks who were not here yesterday, we added on our menu bars or a bookmark bar, Archive This. What Archive This does is it automatically cites sources for you, so long as they're not secure websites like the one I'm on right now. So that's something that you might want to add. And through the video note from yesterday, it's recorded in there. It'll show you how to do it. If you haven't voted on the pop culture resolution yet, because you weren't here yesterday, I would say let's do that so that we can try to finalize what those topics would be. I'll post those, and then the whole hope when you come in on Monday of next week, we'll know what our 4 topics are. You would be looking up affirmative and negative for both of them, so that would give you 8 topics. When we do the debates on Tuesday the 20th, it's the same way. I pull 2 names. So Savannah's name gets pulled, Nick's name gets pulled. I ask Savannah, does she want to go affirmative, or does she want to pick side, or does she want to pick topic? She can choose one, Nick would choose the other. If there is a specific issue, say it's the body camera one or whatever for police, that you don't want to argue affirmative or negative, there should be one argument that you can avoid. So I don't want to do negative for body cameras because I think all police officers should have it. If I don't want to get trapped into doing negative for that argument, I'm allowed to pick topic or side. What do I want to pick? I could pick side, like say the topic already gets chosen, I could go side and go affirmative, or if I get topic pick, I say I'll pick topic before the side, I could just avoid that topic altogether, so then the Jack or Callie doesn't end up choosing it. So if there is one particular issue that you can't see yourself arguing for or against, you will have the capability of avoiding it, because if you get to choose side, you can avoid that side. If you have to choose topic, you can avoid that topic altogether. Now, if Jack does not want to do negative body cameras and he chooses topic and says body cameras, and Rebecca says I want to go affirmative and you get stuck going negative, your fault for choosing the topic. But there should be at least one that you can try to stay away from. Remember, by the end of the semester, you need 50 sources. So we were throwing around if you were able to get 2 or 3 sources per side of each issue, that would knock out 16 to 24 of those sources, which puts you in a pretty good position after your first main argument. So don't allow yourself to kind of get overwhelmed by, I need 50 sources by the end of the semester. The problem would be if you keep finding sources but you don't update Noodlebib, that would make life much more difficult. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, I'd say over the weekend, set up Noodlebib accounts, create projects. Within the class video, it shows you how to share the project with me. So then at that point, I'm able to kind of keep track of all your sources. I think from yesterday, everyone who was here, I was able to get all of their projects. I think there should be, of course, error connecting. There we go. Jack, we got yours. Evelyn, we have. Savannah, we have. Rebecca, we have. Helena, we got yours. Dylan, Shrey, Callie, Bryn, Bowen, and Maddie. Nick, did you run into issues yesterday with Sharon?
Are we supposed to? I made the thing.
Go into your project. And then in that middle part, it says about sharing.
Oh.
And so remember, where that you're going to share with a project inbox. If you type in CHS, you should see an option that says period 2 spring 2018. You share that with me, and then we're good.
You do share a link?
The Google Doc doesn't matter. You're not going to have one. Okay. All right. Any questions?
Oh, we made those 2 sample sources. We should get rid of those.
Yeah, if you did the sample ones, you would want to knock those things out. That's not going to count. Okay. All right. Hope would be on Monday, assuming CDT testing wrapped up. Our own laptops would be in here. On Monday, you'd be able just to grab whatever laptop you want. We'll log on, make sure they work. I've had pretty good luck with them this year. So hopefully that shouldn't be a problem. And then at that point, you'll have your own designated laptop. All right. No homework assignments. Next week, no quizzes that you have to worry about for Friday. It's pretty much going to be us going over the research in class. It's going to take a while, probably, for you to locate some things. So I would say for Tuesday of not next week, but the week after, there's probably going to be some research preparation done at home because you're not going to be able to certainly knock out all 4 topics, affirmative and negative, in class. If you have study halls and things like that, you need passes for library, let me know. I can always hook you up with those. I do.